recently had a post on LinkedIn that got a lot of visibility, comments, traction, just on remote working. You run Jellyvision, I run my company. There's a lot of us in the same boat that this is affecting us in different ways. But for most white collar knowledge workers, working from home 100% of the time for the first time. Maybe talk about your experience running a company remotely over the past 2.5 months, your post, maybe some of the responses that you got.
Yeah, so first let me apologize because I'm about to describe Jellyvision's offices in a way that will make introverts die a spiritual death. So just forgive me, there are plenty of introverts at Jellyvision, but it is a bustling environment. It is bench style seating. Very few people have offices. It's a very open culture and it's high energy. People comment as they're sitting in our lobby that people are walking by smiling, and it's true, and it's voluntary. It's not mandatory to smile, but there's just like a lot of pleasant energy. And so we were pretty quick to send people home, and we're going to be pretty slow in bringing people back. Social distancing is the only way to keep people safe. Our number one priority is the safety of employees. So we're just not going to rush to bring people back because it's working pretty well having everyone remote. We use Slack and Zoom and all that stuff day in, day out anyway. So our transition home was pretty seamless. So when I announced that we would not be reopening the offices until September 1 at the earliest, I expected backlash. I expected disappointment with that decision. And over 70% of our employees, in fact, appreciated it. So there is a sense of like a bunch of extroverts. They are in their condos dying, but there's also a sense of like, it doesn't feel safe to have to go to work. And so we're trying to figure out how to create a balance. But the first thing is, people, what will it be like when we go back to work? Point number one is we are at work. People are already, they're working. They're just not working in offices. So the question is, what will it be like to go back to offices? And I, as a leader, just kind of put on LinkedIn, I am used to walking around, running into people, hearing what's going on, building relationships in that kind of way. And it created all this sort of organic visibility where I could give props and I would know what was going on. And I was like, oh, you should talk to this person. And just like shop talk in a really organic way. And I have found when I, try to pop a meeting on somebody's calendar and be like, let's do a Zoom with the CEO, people are like, why, am I in trouble? Like, no, I want organic conversation again. And there's nothing organic about scheduled meetings. There's nothing organic about it. So I went to LinkedIn and I was like, how do people do this organically? And there's a big difference between everybody working from home versus some people in the office and some from home or some remote. Like, I also think that there's a big difference of, we know where everybody is right now. Everybody's in their houses. If we say you don't have to come back to the office, but suddenly we begin remote work, then there are security issues and time zone issues and a whole host of things start to become more nuanced and more challenging for like bridging the communication divide that aren't applicable when everyone is sitting predictably in their homes in a Chicago time zone, et cetera. So I was just kind of asking for advice about how to navigate it, mostly because I am seeing challenges with the way I have been used to leading. And I know I have to once again reinvent myself and reinvent what is effective. And I was just looking for tips, and people on LinkedIn were great. It hit some kind of nerve. People were thinking about it and we're trying to figure out, all right, when do we go back to the office? If we go back to the office, how is it going to be different when a lot of people aren't going to join? Technologies that are brilliant when everybody's remote are less effective when you have some people sitting in a conference room looking at each other and then some people watch each other from a Zoom perspective. So those were some of the themes. We are working. Are we going to be working in an office again? And if we continue to have this flexibility about not being in office, what happens when people truly start going remote?